Hi, it's Matt from Go Green Autos. So we have another EV here for sale, this time a BMW i3. It's a 94 amp hour range extender, and this one is actually my own car. So because of COVID, things have been a bit slow, got to pay rent still, so I'm downsizing, well, downgrading should I say. So a little bit about the i3 if you don't know what they're about. They're like no other car out there. They are made of plastic. They're a carbon fibre shell on an aluminium frame. So you can see the carbon fibre tub here. So it's incredibly light, but really strong, and the doors are very thick. It's what Formula 1 racing cars are made of. And then the battery pack sits under the floor, as they do with all EVs. So you've got an aluminium chassis that holds the suspension and the drivetrain, and then everything else is carbon fibre, and all the panels are plastic, even the roof, which makes it very light, and it's also very strong. And on the outside it looks a small car. It is a small car, but it's packaged really well, and on the inside it certainly doesn't feel that at all. In fact, it feels quite huge on the inside, maybe not in the back, but you get these doors that open like that, suicide doors, and you have no supporting pillar here because of the strength of the carbon fibre tub. And that means it's very easy to get in and out of the back. You don't even need to move the seats. There is a lever there which you can move the seats to give you more access to the back, but to be honest, you don't really need to do that. And also the seats are very much thinner than they are in normal cars. Again, it gives you more space. The doors are also frameless as well, and the wheels are also very narrow. They're also large. This one's got the largest wheels, the 20-inch wheels, which is an upgrade, which I'll go into in a minute, but they're also very narrow as well, very skinny tyres, and that reduces the rolling resistance and therefore increases range. It's also great when you hit puddles at speed. You don't aquaplane, it sort of slices through the water really well. And these are rear-wheel drive, the electric motors at the back there under the boot. So at the front it's just steering. You also get a little front storage compartment as well, because there's no motor at the front, but the steering is also very sharp. It's got a really sharp turning circle, which is great when you want to spin around a tiny roundabout or park and things. And these are a real fun EV to drive. They're hugely powerful, very nippy, very fast, and just fantastic fun. And out of all the electric vehicles out there, it's sort of commonly regarded the i3 is the second best electric car. Probably the Tesla Model 3 is the ultimate, but next best the BMW i3. They're just a rather special electric car. And this one is the range extender, because we have a filling flap here, and then we have the charge flap there. And the range extender means it has a little petrol generator on board, so if you can't charge, then the petrol generator will kick in and extend your range. So if you've been looking at i3s, you'll probably realise that the prices vary hugely on these, and that is because they come with a lot of options, and when they were new you can spend many thousands of pounds speccing them up like you can on many other German cars, but the options on these are quite expensive, and that is also then reflected in the second-hand price. And this car is one of those. It is pretty much got all of them apart from a sunroof, and it makes them the high-spec ones are more desirable. So I'll go through what this car has. Firstly, the colour is in this really nice protronic blue, it's called. So it is a new colour on the i3s. It only came out when the 94 amp hour cars came out. Previously the colour was only available on the BMW i8. So when they made this colour available, it was sort of the more desirable sporty colour. That's a £530 upgrade. Like it is on all cars, you pay extra for metallic paint. So this car has got the sport package. That was a £1,700 upgrade. So what you get with that is LED adaptive front headlights, which are just amazing. You get alloy wheel upgrades. However, this has taken it further and has got the 20-inch wheels, which I'll go into in a minute. You get privacy glass on all the back windows, and inside you get the Harman Kardon sound system, So you get extra speakers along the front with a sort of a bass speaker in the middle of the dash, upgraded speakers in the doors, and you get speakers in the back, which you don't get with the standard stereo, and the system sounds just absolutely fantastic. Next is those alloy wheels. So all BMW i3s have 19-inch wheels, so they're really huge in diameter but very narrow. But this has got the 20-inch upgrade. So the sport package does have a nicer 19-inch wheel, but you can upgrade it even further and get these bigger 20-inch wheels. So they're diamond cut with black spokes. And the 20-inch alloys is a £1,080 upgrade on a new i3, or if you've got the sport package, then it's £530 upgrade. I have also fitted new tyres on this recently, so I'll put the tyre tread depths on the website. Next, the interior. On the BMW i3s you can have different interior trims, and they call it interior worlds. And this has got the loft interior, and what you get with the loft interior is this light grey interior, light grey dash, light steering wheel with the blue trim in it. You get this synthetic leather on the seats, blue stitching, blue up here, really nice. It makes the whole cabin feel much lighter. And you also get extended lighting, and what that is the you get puddle lights and you get footwell lights, and the door handles light up. And also when you unlock the car, the whole car glows blue inside until you open the doors. A really nice feature. This loft interior is another £1,000 upgrade. So this car's also got the professional media upgrade. That was a £1,000 upgrade when new, and that's the most desirable thing. That's what everyone wants, and that gives you this larger multimedia screen. You can also split the screens. You can have two lots of information on the screen at the same time. For example, your sat nav and radio or music streaming and stuff like that. It's also got a concierge service, so you can talk to a control room for assistance and they can download routes to the car. It's also got online music streaming. You have to pay extra for that service, but the car will download music. It's a Napster system, and that's just fantastic. Doesn't use your mobile phone, of course. The car's got its own inbuilt SIM card. This has also got the Park Assist package. That was a £790 upgrade. What that gives you is a camera on the back. So if I put it into reverse, it's a really high quality resolution camera as well, better than I've seen in any other car. You also then get parking sensors on the front as well, as we can see here, front and back parking sensors. And you've also got self-parking, and this self-parking is unlike other systems I've used on other cars. It does everything. It does all the driving. Most other cars, it just does the steering, and you have to then control the brakes and the accelerator. This does the lot, and I've got a video on my YouTube channel showing that in operation. So by telling you the prices of all the options that are fitted to this car, hopefully that explains why the second-hand values can vary so much, because it very much does depend on the spec of the individual vehicles. There are a few other things this car's got fitted. Obviously we've got the LED adaptive headlights. We've also got LED indicators down here, which is non-standard, and it's also got LED main beams here. This is your main beams and this is your dip beams on the i3. The charge cable with this car is also the upgraded 3-phase charge cable. So on the 94 amp hour i3s, the AC charging port is actually 11 kilowatt. But if you use a single phase standard charge cable, you will only charge at 7 kilowatt. The majority of chargers are 7 kilowatt anyway. Certainly all home chargers aren't going to be any higher than 7 kilowatt. However, when you're charging on a public AC charger, often you can get 22 kilowatt chargers, and if you've got the right 3-phase cable, then this car will charge at 11 kilowatt versus 7 kilowatt. And in the front here, if I unlock the frunk, if I can do this one-handed, somewhere here there's a catch, I'm pulling it the wrong way. You have a storage compartment. It's not particularly waterproof, so it does get quite grimy, and that's why you put everything in a bag in here. But here's your puncture repair kit, your towing eye and your alloy wheel key, warning triangle down there. But what we've got with this car is in this BMW bag here. We have got the portable charger. I'm not going to get it all out there, but there we go. So that's a charging cable that allows you to charge the car on a normal 3-pin plug. So the purpose of these videos primarily is to show you the condition, and I don't hide anything. I point out every little stone chip, mark or scratch I can find, because then you know exactly what you're buying, and most people buy the vehicles without coming to view it first, and then I get them delivered to you on a trailer or flatbed, and it will be fully charged and ready to use. I would just say, if you have a look at the photo gallery on the website, everything I pick out, you can look at pictures and you can zoom right up and get a detailed view of anything I point out. But that said, very little to show you on this car. It really is in fantastic condition. Firstly, let's start at this front corner. I'm going to be very picky, so I do often come across rather negative because I'm only pointing out bad points and not the plus points, but hey, at least you know exactly what you're buying. These bigger wheels, they do tend to get pick-up curbing because of the sheer size of them, but really good on this car. No significant curbing at all. If I'm going to be really picky, there's a slight little scuff there on that spoke, but really insignificant. Looking around the front, there are a few minor stone chips on the front bumper, but it's all plastic. The significant ones is there's one there which is about 3mm, but I have dabbed a little bit of paint in there. Tiny one there and a tiny one there, and some really small ones around, but again, anything that's more than about 1mm I've dabbed a bit of paint in. But you're going to pick that up on all second-hand cars, and cars with plastic, well, most cars are plastic bumpers, but as you probably know, on plastic, when a stone hits it, they tend to make an indent a little bit more than on the steel panels, and on BMW i3s everything is plastic. There's a couple of minor stone chips on the bonnet, but really minor. There's no scratching or anything at all on the car or any dents. Actually, plastic panels don't dent as much anyway, they're much more forgiving. That alloy wheel I think is all good, yeah, absolutely immaculate. New tyres, as I said, no scratching on the mirrors, it's just really tidy. Oh, that said, there is a little scratch there on that door handle. I hadn't noticed that before. I'll see if that will polish out, but it doesn't look like it will. So there's a minor scratch there. Little stone chip there, about 2mm. This wheel, there's a little nick there, little chip out of the black paint, which I did some time ago, dab a little bit of black paint in there. Not really noticeable. Going round the back, the thing that BMW i3s usually suffer from is scratching along this top of the bumper, because this is just obviously, God, look at that dust, it's coming off the track in the fields. Yeah, when stuff gets loaded in, because it's an unprotected bumper here, you do get a bit of scratching. There's some minor scratching here, but really minor for one of these. But you can also buy a plastic trim panel that sticks on there and is sort of like plastic like that and protects it. Really tidy inside. Looking around here, nothing to show you down on the bodywork wise. Minor little bit of oh no, I thought that was where water got under the lacquer. It isn't, that's just dust again. So yeah, this wheel is really good, apart from a minor little scuffing there in the black paint, but actually that will probably cut out. And then the only thing I need to mention along here now, the final thing, is there is a little chip in the windscreen there, but I'm going to repair that, but it's very minor. I've had it there for a very long time, so it's not getting any worse. But when I've repaired that, it will still be visible. But you don't, to be honest, you don't notice. It is sort of in line of sight, but unless you really find it and focus on it, you don't even see it. And then looking on the inside, it's just in really nice condition. We've got the original velour mats there as well. I have washed this seat. I'll have another go because there's a slight bit of staining there. It's just general grime off your clothes. Also, the leather well, the fake leather, it's sort of PVC on these. They do have a habit of turning blue from your jeans. This one was sort of doing it, so it's slightly blue here, but very minor. And the only negative thing is there's a little bit of wear starting to show along that very edge, not on the material but on the PVC. That's just because of the way the seat is, you slide in and out, but very minor. But the back is hardly being used, really tidy. So the mileage of this one is So let's quickly talk about range. So this obviously is the range extender version, so it's got a 33 kilowatt hour battery pack, and then you've got the little petrol generator, and what that is a little 2-cylinder petrol engine which sits in the back under the floor next to the electric motor, and that's just a petrol generator. So generally with these you try to drive on electric all the time, but it's really handy, that generator, because at times where you can't charge, or you get to a charger that's full and you don't want to wait, or the charger's broken, or there's just no chargers, then you can keep driving with these. The generator will just kick in when the battery gets to 5% state of charge, and you've effectively got unlimited range if you just keep filling up with petrol. So the fuel tank is tiny, it's only 9 litres. I've actually only filled this up once. It cost me £10, and I try not to use it, but at certain times, like if you pull into a services and the chargers are in use and there isn't one free, you know, normally you would have to sit and wait. With these, you just think, oh, what the hell, you drive to the next one, and doesn't matter how far away that next one is, it's just very convenient. And you also don't get range anxiety, because you can never run out of electricity, because the as long as you've got petrol in it, you can just keep driving. So up here on the dash we've got 2 range meters. This is your battery pack in blue, and it's showing 78 miles here, and we're roughly at, I don't know what that is, 3/4 of a tank, 3/4 of a battery full. So range very much is dictated on driving style and also temperature, because an EV is a lot more efficient in the summer than it is in the winter, because in the winter it's cold and batteries are less efficient in the winter, and using the heating does use a lot of energy. But BMW say that these will do 125 miles in real world driving. I find that actually quite easy. This will show 125 miles in the summer quite easily. However, on the BMW i3s, because they're so powerful and so fun to drive, it is very easy to drive these too fast and not drive economically. But anyway, I see 125 miles is very achievable, and you probably can do more. And then on this side is your range extender, your fuel tank, and it's greyed out at the moment because it's not in use, and when it's in use this will then brighten up. But it's showing 67 miles there, but the range of the fuel is very much dictated of the by the driving economy at the time. So in reality, in the summer you can get 125 miles electric range, and the range extender then driving at that sort of economy is going to give you at least another 100 miles. BMW say this will do 206 miles. It actually does more, but of course your range extender range is only limited by the amount of fuel in the petrol tank, and of course you can pull in anywhere and refuel, and you can keep driving on petrol if you wanted to. But obviously that's not the point of the range extender. The point of the range extender is an emergency backup. So yeah, very handy system. It completely does away with range anxiety. It's just really nice, and in reality I've done quite a few miles in this, and I've hardly ever used it. I will still pull in and charge because I don't want to pollute the environment. It's there just as a backup, but when you do end up using it, it is such a nice feature. For example, I was coming back at about 11:30 one night, pitch black obviously, but it was belting it down with rain, and I pulled into a petrol station that had a charger, and the petrol station was shut, so I couldn't go in and use the toilet or get a coffee, but the charger was working. and I connected up and I started charging, but I was tired, I hadn't eaten, I couldn't use the loo, and I just thought, what the heck, why am I sitting here when I could drive on petrol? So I disconnected. I was only there for about 2 minutes, disconnected, did the rest of the drive home, and I got home on petrol. And for those sort of times, obviously that wasn't important because I could have charged, but it was just so nice that I have that second option. And that's what these cars are great for. And even better, as I said, if your charger's broken or full, or you can't get stranded one of these. If you've got fuel in it, you can't get stranded. You can just keep driving. So completely does away with range anxiety. So these cars obviously have preconditioning and charge times and all that sort of stuff, just like most EVs do. So the preconditioning, it allows you to set a time that you're going to leave every morning, and then while the car's plugged into your home charger, it will switch on and put the heating on and precondition the vehicle, so it will warm the cabin, melt the ice off the windows if it's in the winter. And on these, actually, it heats the battery pack as well, which is great. You've also got an app on your phone. So we have a BMW app. I'll just put in my PIN number, and you can then look at the car remotely. It even puts the right colour car with the right wheels and the right combination of spec. But you can do all sorts of things: flash the lights, unlock, you can locate the vehicle, you can set the climate control, you know, the preconditioning, and you can set charge timers as well. You can also get all the information about the car. I've been driving very inefficiently recently. You can also download routes from your calendar. If you've got an entry in your calendar that you're going to go somewhere, via the app, you can send it to the car. So when you get in the car, you've got the route there, and your messages, you can select it and you've got it straight into your sat-nav. Really nice function. So other kit we got in this car, all BMW i3s have heated seats, both sides. Heated seats are particularly hot in this. They are 3-stage, very rarely have it on stage 3 because they are very, very hot. We've got climate control. These buttons here aren't radio buttons. You can make them do anything. So you can make them program to radio channels, but you can also program them to all other sort of functions, anything you'd want. So for example, button 8 I've got set up so I can go straight to the tyre pressures. We're not seeing the tyre pressures at the moment because you've got to be driving, but any time while I'm driving I can go straight to tyre pressures, which I quite like. So we've got cruise control, voice, telephone, all the normal sort of stuff. You've got automatic lights. What else have we've got? Automatic wipers. And then down here, 2 cup holders. You've got that sort of elastic storage strap there for holding things in. Nice flat floor, so you can put handbags or bags there. This is removable as well. You can stick it in the pocket down there. There's another slot for that second cup holder there. We've got USB, aux input, 12 volt down there. There's another 12 volt under there. This is your iDrive system. So when you've got the professional one with the bigger screen, you get a different controller down here. And what you can do, this all rotates and spins and things, but this has also got character recognition. So you can write on here, and when you're entering a sat-nav destination, you can actually write the postcode and that sort of thing. It's much quicker than spinning the wheel and getting the characters in that way. We got the self-parking, as I said. You've also got different drive modes: comfort, which is standard, and then you've got eco and eco pro, and that just reduces the power of the motor to extend your range. And then we've got DAB radio, which works particularly well in this. It works in weak signal areas, which is great. Media, where you've got Bluetooth streaming, that sort of thing, telephone, navigation, you know, it's all the normal sort of stuff. And over here we've also got folding mirrors on the car as well. So we've got 2 keys, and just look at the paperwork here. So the logbook here, it's in Go Green Auto's name, and 1 previous keeper, so I was the second keeper. And the registration date is the 29th of the 7th 2016. So this one was a tax-free one, because previously on the range extenders you had to pay road tax, and this was before that date. However, that system's changed now. Then here we've got, if I can just Get my fingers working. MOT certificate. MOT expires on the 28th of the 7th 2020. However, as you know, because of the coronavirus, we've got a 6-month extension on all MOTs, but I can get the MOT test done because where I use where I go for MOT tests, they are working now, so I can get that done. And then we've got the owner's manual. You don't get a service book on the i3, it's all electronic. This one is due a service because these have a range extender. You have to change the oil in them. You do that every 2 years. This one is due and it will be done this week, so it'll be done before the car's delivered, so that's all good for another 2 years. So to recap, this is a 33 kilowatt hour range extender i3. Really nice spec, really nice condition, looks great with these 20-inch upgraded wheels, and probably the most desirable colour as well. Looks really sporty, and I will be so sorry to see this go, but hey, needs must, and I'm sure I'll be getting another one of these next year sometime. So if you're interested, then give me a call or email. I can deliver this anywhere in the country, and as I said, it will come to you on a flatbed and it will be fully charged, ready to use. And this one's also got that portable charger in the front, so you can charge this from the off on a normal main socket. But ultimately you would get a wall charger installed. They take usually 2 or 3 weeks to get installed, and you get a government grant of £350 towards that charger, and the final price ends up being around the £500 mark, depending on the make or model of charger you get, but the details on the charging are on the website as well. Oh, and I forgot to say, obviously everything works as it should do without any fault whatsoever.